Hi everyone, this is the TalkTime Podcast, the place where English becomes simple, alive, and a little bit funny. I'm Anna.
And I'm Mark. And today we're going to save one very important creature.
Seriously? Which one?
Your memory for words. And mine too. And honestly, the memory of everyone who's listening to us.
Oh yes, because sometimes it feels like new words just run away. You study them, repeat them, you're so motivated, and 3 days later, I don't know you, go away.
Or even better, you want to say something beautiful in a conversation, and your brain is like, I have the perfect word, and in the very same second, error 404, word not found.
By the way, that happened to me yesterday. I went to a new cafe, one of those small, super cozy places with beautiful desserts and a warm atmosphere. And I wanted to tell my friend in English that this place is just, well...
You forgot the word too?
Yes. I'm standing there looking at this cake, the lights, the walls, and in my head, it's so, what was it again?
Let's play. Is it a fancy word or a simple one?
Fancy. Kind of super beautiful, elegant. Not just nice. Something a level higher.
Maybe elegant?
Close, but no. It feels more expensive. Like you're describing a masterpiece.
Luxurious?
Not exactly. It's softer, more poetic. A word that fits a dessert, music, or a memory.
Wait, exquisite?
Yes, that's it! Exquisite! I knew it started with an E, and then nothing. Total blank.
You see? And that is the perfect example of what we're talking about today. How to make sure words like exquisite, meticulous, nostalgic, sophisticated, don't disappear after a day.
So today's episode topic is how to make sure new words don't run away from your head.
We'll talk about why the brain forgets words so quickly, how to make a word really yours, how to use images, emotions, and humor, how to train memory like a muscle, and at the end, our guest will break down 10 beautiful words with examples.
And all of that in simple language, without heavy science, but with real practical techniques.
Let's start with why we forget words at all. Imagine your brain is a bucket with tiny holes.
Very romantic beginning. Thank you, Mark.
I'm trying. Every time you learn a new word, you pour a bit of water, information, into that bucket. But if you don't do anything, the water slowly leaks out.
And a day or two later, you're like, I definitely knew this word. I recognize its face. But the name? No.
This is a normal process. It's called the forgetting curve. In short, if you don't review new information, you can forget up to 80% within 24 hours.
40 minutes of studying, 1 day of holding on, and that's it.
So our job is to patch the bucket. Not to make the brain perfect, but just to slow the leak enough so that the words we need stay with us longer.
The first strategy, make the word part of your life. Our brain loves not just information, but personal information.
That's why the word exquisite will now always be connected in your mind with that cafe.
Exactly! And every time I remember that cafe, I'll automatically remember exquisite.
It's the same for me with the word nostalgic. When I first heard, I feel nostalgic, I immediately remembered how, as a kid, my friends and I played outside until late, ran around, fell down, laughed. Now, when I hear the word nostalgic, a little movie starts playing in my head.
So how do we use that? When you learn a new word, ask yourself, what in my life can this word be connected to? What memory, place, person, or feeling fits this word?
For example, lavish could be about your cousin's wedding where there was way too much of everything. Meticulous, about your friend who spends 20 minutes aligning a napkin on the table. Charming, about the waiter who always smiles and gives you free cookies.
Once a word hooks onto a real story, it stops being just a line in a dictionary.
Strategy 2. Visual associations. Our brain really loves pictures, scenes, little cartoons.
Yes, if you can see the word, you're much more likely to remember it.
For example, the word serendipity, a happy accident. I imagine myself walking down the street, looking down, and seeing money or a concert ticket on the ground. Like, oh, I didn't plan this, but I got lucky.
Or lavish, luxurious. I imagine a huge hall, golden chandeliers, a table covered with fruits, desserts, tons of food, people in expensive clothes. Like a movie about a rich life.
Another one, meticulous. I see a person with a magnifying glass checking every single crumb on the table, or a jeweler very carefully placing stones into a ring.
The main principle is, the stranger, funnier, and brighter the picture, the better.
Don't be afraid to exaggerate. No one can see what's in your head. Hopefully.
Strategy 3. Practice. A word is like a seed. If you plant it and water it a bit right away, it starts to grow.
If you just read the word and move on, there's a big chance that tomorrow you won't remember it.
So the rule is, if you learned a word today, use it today.
At least 3 times. You can say it out loud in a simple sentence. Write it in your notes or journal. Use it in a message to a friend or in a comment.
For example, you learned the word peculiar, strange, unusual. The same day you write, "That's a peculiar song. He has a peculiar habit. Today was a bit peculiar."
Don't wait for the perfect situation. Create the situation yourself.
And don't be afraid to sound a bit silly. One slightly weird sentence with a word you'll remember is better than perfect grammar without a single new word.
The next thing sounds very scientific, but it's actually simple. Active recall and spaced repetition.
Active recall is when you don't peek. You try to remember the word yourself. You close the dictionary, pull your phone out of your pocket, and ask your brain, okay, what does meticulous mean?
And while your brain is like, that's exactly when your memory gets stronger. It's like push-ups for your neurons.
Now, about spaced repetition. You don't need to repeat a word 100 times in one day. It's better to repeat it once today, once in 2 days, once in a week.
This way, you catch the moment when your brain is about to forget the word and gently remind it, no, we're keeping this one.
There are apps that do this automatically, like flashcards in Anki or Quizlet. They decide for you when to show the word again.
It's like a personal trainer for your vocabulary.
Another important thing. Learn words not one by one, but in sentences and stories.
If you just know that frigid means very cold, it's easy to forget. But if you read the sentence, "The wind was so frigid, it felt like my face turned into an icicle," there's already a whole scene in your head.
Or puerile. He has a peculiar habit of eating cereal with a fork. You instantly picture a guy with a fork and a bowl of cereal, and the word sticks.
Words like nostalgic, sophisticated, charming are also better learned in sentences. I feel nostalgic when I look at my old photos. Her style is so sophisticated. This little cafe is so charming.
When a word lives inside a story, it stops being just a dry definition.
And one more super method. Explain the word to someone else.
Yes, when you teach someone, you automatically come up with an example, find your own explanation, and that really strengthens your memory.
You can explain the word to a friend, a younger sibling, or even your cat. The cat might not appreciate it, but your memory definitely will.
For example, you learned the word flustered, confused, stressed, thrown off. You can say, imagine you're late, you can't find your keys and your phone, the door is locked, that's flustered.
Or charming. That's a person who talks, smiles, and you just feel good, like the sun walked into the room.
If you can explain a word in simple language, it means you really understand it and remember it.
Okay, we've talked about the strategies. Now let's invite our guest so she can break down a few beautiful words and give examples.
Joining us today is Charlotte. She'll help you lock all of this in with real practice.
Charlotte, the mic is yours.
Hi friends, I'm Charlotte, and now we're going to go through a few wonderful words together that Anna and Mark have already mentioned today. I'll give a simple meaning and an example, and you'll be able to easily translate all of this into English yourself. Exquisite, meaning very beautiful, elegant, made with great attention to detail. Example: this dessert was so beautiful and delicious that I can say it was simply exquisite. You can use this word for food, music, art, places, anything that feels special and almost perfect to you. Frigid, meaning very cold, icy. Example: today the wind was so frigid that I felt like my face was turning into ice. It's more than just cold. It's when it's so cold you immediately want to go home. Serendipity, meaning a pleasant accident, a happy coincidence. Example: we met by chance in another city. It was pure serendipity. When something good happens without a plan, that's the word. Meticulous, meaning very attentive to details, precise, neat. Example: she is so meticulous that she straightens every single piece of paper on the table. If a person checks everything, arranges everything, and loves order, this is a great word to describe them. Peculiar, meaning strange, unusual, a bit odd, but not necessarily in a bad way. Example: he has a peculiar habit of eating cereal with a fork. You can use this word when something looks not like everyone else, but in an interesting way. Lavish, meaning very luxurious, rich, with a lot of excess. Example: it was a lavish wedding. Tons of flowers, decor, music, and mountains of food. We use this to talk about parties, houses, events where there is a lot of everything, and it all looks very rich. Nostalgic, meaning nostalgic, when you miss the past but with warmth. Example: when I listen to old songs from my childhood, I feel nostalgic. This word is for those moments when you remember the good old days. Sophisticated, meaning elegant, refined, stylish, high level. Example: her look was so sophisticated, like from a fashion magazine. You can describe not only clothing, but also lifestyle, music, interiors. Flustered, meaning confused, flustered, nervous because of stress and chaos. Example: I always feel flustered when I'm late and can't find my keys. This word is for those moments when it feels like everything is going wrong and there's no time. Charming, meaning charming, pleasant, sweet, something or someone that makes you smile. Example: this little book town was so charming that I didn't want to leave. You can use it to describe people, places, and little details that make the world feel warmer. That's it. 10 great words you've already seen in our episode. Try to choose at least 2 of them today and use them in your own sentences or thoughts. Now I'm handing the mic back to Anna and Mark.
Thank you, Charlotte. That was so clear and helpful that I already want to grab a notebook myself.
Yes, now exquisite and nostalgic are definitely staying with us for a long time. And, friends, pay attention. Charlotte did 3 important things. Gave a simple meaning. Gave a short example. Connected the word to real life. That's exactly what you can do yourself with any new word.
All right, now it's your turn. Here's a small task for after this episode. 1. Choose 3 new words you liked the most. 2. For each word, write your own definition in simple words. Come up with 1 real sentence about your life. Imagine a picture in your head. 3. If you can, explain these words to someone, a friend, a child, or even to yourself out loud.
For example, it might look like this. Exquisite! The cake at my birthday was so perfect that I can say it was exquisite. Nostalgic. When I listen to an old song from university, I feel nostalgic. Peculiar. My cat has a peculiar habit of sleeping in the sink.
The main thing, don't overcomplicate it. You don't need to write a novel. It's better to have 3 short but lively sentences than one very long perfect sentence that you never use again.
I want to summarize the main ideas one more time so they don't leak out of the bucket. Your brain forgets if you don't review. That's normal. A word lives longer if it's connected to you, a memory, an emotion, a place. Pictures in your head and funny scenes help your memory. Practice in real sentences is like a workout for words. Active recall and spaced repetition make knowledge stronger. When you teach someone else, you yourself become stronger with those words.
And one more thing. You don't need to know all the fancy words in the world. It's better to have 30 words you truly feel and can use than 300 you just saw once somewhere.
If you're thinking right now, I have a bad memory. I always forget words. Stop. It's not a bad memory. It's a normal brain without a system.
And today, we've just given you a system. Not perfect, not magical, but simple and effective.
So next time you learn a new beautiful word, do at least one thing from what we suggested. Tie it to a memory, draw a picture, use it in a sentence, or explain it to someone else.
And if that word doesn't disappear after a week, congratulations, you're already patching your bucket.
With small steps, but consistently.
Thank you for being with us on TalkTime Podcast. Today we talked about how to make new words stay with you for a long time, instead of running out of your head like water from a leaky bucket.
Remember, make words personal. Add emotions and pictures to them. Use them at least a little, but regularly.
And if you want to lock this in even better, come back to this episode in a few days and listen to it again. That is spaced repetition in action.
Mark and I are really happy to be part of your journey with English. You're not just learning words, you're building your voice in English.
And your voice matters.
This was the TalkTime Podcast.
See you in the next episode.
Train your words.
Train your brain.
And speak boldly.